Happy Friday. Hey, hey, hey. How is everybody? Are y'all ready for some crime? Woo, we got some tough to talk about. Lots to talk about today. Mm-mm-mm. Annie's here. She was here early, so she gets a good seat. Shannon was here early. She gets another good seat. How are you, Shannon? Happy Friday. And if Sarah's there with you, hello, Sarah. Hi, Joan. How are you? She's saying hi to everybody. Leanie's on the TV. Hi, Leanie. Yeah, there she is. Stephanie is here from Lefty Crochet and Mirror Knits. Hi. She has got tea in her cup and a blanket on the hook. Sounds good. Hi, Mary. How are you tonight? How are you tonight? Tracy Swan. Oh, how you doing? I'm glad you're here. There's Joyce. Whoop, there's Joyce. Hi, Joyce. Happy Friday to you. Jolene, Jolene, Jolene. I try to do it without cracky voice. Good to see you. Who else? Oh, there's Lorna. Hi, Lorna. Oh, there's Sally Birch. She She sent me some wonderful things. If you guys have not seen my video for my Happy Mail, thank you again so very much, Sally. Y'all made my day. Absolute, very talented people here. Let me tell you. Hi, Kathy. How are you tonight? Good to see you. What are you up to? And there's Patty Myers. Hello, Patty. Good to see you. You're splurging with the cherry Pepsi. Okay. Hi, Tina C. How are you? Good to see you. Glad you're here. Start of a headache. Okay. We'll kind of turn the lights down a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you what helps when you have one. Well, I'm sorry. I hope it doesn't go into anything. There is Elizabeth Toller. It's her first time here. I met her today on Shannon's Art Live. Thank you for coming in. I'm so glad you're here. That's awesome. Oh, I did it justice today, huh? Yes, that's what I want to know. How many of y'all watched Court today? How many of you did? That's what we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about the book. Sorry. We're not going to talk about any of those books. We're talking trials today. Happy Friday to you. Good to see you. How are you tonight? Hey, Brenda. Good to see you. Hey, I'm all the way down at the bottom. You got to watch. Now, y'all, I had an appointment today with a pain doctor with pain management. So I have not seen it. I tried to get caught up a little bit so that I watched some of the coverage, like the bits that they had chopped up and put out as an independent video. I did that. But I need to go in and watch opening statements. Have not seen them. How many of you would like to watch them with me? I hope you're all good for that, because that's what we're going to do tonight. We got to watch this stuff. You're booned out. You're done with her. What a piece of work, isn't she? Jolie watched part of it. Oh, was it acting up? You haven't seen anything. I'm sorry you had a bad day. Oh, I'm sorry, Stephanie. Let me tell you, I went to pain doctor today and my pain was at about a 5. So We had a lot to talk about, but I will get into that. Um, let's see. We've said our hellos and all of that stuff. You're up to watching okay. There's Serbs. He was on the horn. If you know, you know. Hi, Mimi. Good to see you. Isn't that just the way it is, Joan? You go to watch something and the phone rings, or then you got to do. I have days with my crafting that are like that. Go to do something. Oh, I got to do something else. And then I go, and then, oh, now I got my water pill kicks in. And then I got to do this and do that. And then I got to run to dad's. And then I got to, it just, and I have days where I don't get any crafting done at all because of that. Oh, you're welcome. You're so welcome. Hello, Mandy. How are you tonight? Glad you're here. And hello, Mimi. Did I say hi? Did I say hi to Mimi? This is another thing that's been happening. Been forgetting what I said, what I was going to say. We do have a plan. So if you guys would like to stick around, I don't want to open up with all that. So, okay. I did try to get caught up on what's going on because we got 2 trials going on. 2 trials that you guys and I have been so invested in. And that's Delphi and Sarah Boone. So, yes, I hope everybody is well too. I really do. I know that there's a lot of people out there that are still doing cleanup from the hurricanes. There are a lot of people who have lost people, lost their home. I have so much to be thankful for in my life that I just can't imagine what it's like there. And not being there, not being in that position, I can't speak to that kind of loss. But I am thinking about them for sure. Oh, the chat. I don't watch Law and Crime with the chat. I used to, but it's really distracting for me. I just don't. Yeah, there's just too much really strange stuff going on in those chats. Some people just want to come in and talk and they don't even care what anything is about. It's just a live chat and get a rise out of other people. So I just don't even watch it with that. Turn the chat off, y'all. It's like used to be you could put a little piece of tape across the bottom of the screen of your TV screen, and we all got bigger screens. That's a lot more tape and a lot more mess because all that banner stuff going across the bottom, it was really hard to watch TV. But we've all kind of got used to that. They don't discuss the case. It's crazy. Oh, good. So, Delphi, there are no cameras and there's no audio. So the coverage that is coming out of the trial against Richard Allen in Delphi, Indiana, the Delphi murders of Libby and Abby. It's like I want to see if there's some catching up this evening. I caught up to like noon updates that I could find. And what have anybody seen of, if anything, on that one? I know. It feels almost I feel pretty deprived not being able to at least hear it like we did with Lori Vallow. You know, I mean, we didn't have any, there was no cameras or anything, but we had audio. We could hear what was going on, and I could hear the testimonies, and I didn't feel like I was missing as much, you know. It's not the same as being there, of course, at all. But there's no video, there's no audio, and the reporters are having to pull together to try to, there's like I don't know what they called it, but there's like a main person for court that would come out and give like updates to those who weren't on the inside of the trial inside. So, and I don't know what that person is called, and I know that they were very brief things that they were talking about. I also saw that there were some reporters, newscasters from the AP net, you know, whatever that is, just know AP, that are banned now. They can't come back. Their cameras were taken. All of their video stuff was taken. They were caught filming an entrance area that they were not supposed to film. And the judge said, I want the camera. You don't get the camera back. I want the film. I want all of that was taken out. And y'all, you're done. You're not coming back. She was very AP, Associated Press. Yes. Yes. And they are sharing their notes and all of that stuff. Yes. Hi, Cindy. Yes. And then there was hair on there. There was hair in Libby's hand. Okay. But it was not Richard Allen's. They're saying that hair matched someone related to her. So it was probably her sister. I would think it was her sister's. Yep, I know it. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. Yep, I think it should be too, but it is the discretion of the judge, and there's just not anything you can do about it. It's the judge's discretion. Someone asked about this. This is called Changing Staircases. It is by Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarn. She is Donna's granddaughter. And I did it in Miss Wilma, Shut Up Miss Wilma, which was the very first hand-dyed yarn that I ever bought. And it is by Arkansas Yarn Co. And then in between, I used Knit Picks palette for the other color. So I'll try to remember to link the pattern for you. Hi, Ola Joe. Thank you. Thank you so much. It has just like a touch of a blue or teal in it here, and I thought it went with my shirt. We did cool off a little bit. Thank you. This is one of the first lacy things that I ever knit, and I love doing it. Yes, it's good to see you. Glad you're here. How are y'all doing? So what else? They're not allowing the sketches from the investigation. The two sketches, the young man and the bridge guy, the two sketches that were put out to the media, those are not being allowed to be brought in. The confessions are being allowed. Those are being allowed in. Okay, so there's someone you could go to see what's going on. Oh, okay. All right. Well, thanks for thinking of me. The sketches, the prosecution does not want the sketches in. The prosecution does not want people to see the sketches and the jury to look at those and say, is it him? Is it not him? And using that to weigh the evidence against. And those sketches were used for this. I'm telling you the argument here. The sketches were used for an investigation tool only to try to get leads. That's the way they explained it. Hey, Laura. Laura's here. Knit for Brains. We can start now. Good evening. Happy Friday. He confessed like 60 times. His side was trying to get the confessions left out because this is something we didn't hear before, was he not only confessed 60 times to anybody and everybody, he confessed to killing all of his family and killing his grandchildren, which he does not have. So the defense is saying that those confessions were at a time when he was having an emotional breakdown and they shouldn't be admissible, but they are. I know. Lalani. Who is Lalani? I don't know that one. That's not ringing a bell, Lalani. I know. Why do they all happen at once, though? Making a cover for a planner? Oh, how cool is that? That's fun. Yes, she is. She is most definitely. Oh, that one. Yeah, thank you. I was just going to say, it's easier for me to just click on it. The toddler in the dumpster. Yeah. Yes, she killed little Quentin. Yes. And that one took a little while to come to trial, didn't it? Didn't that one, like, it's been like an all year thing for that one to get ramped up to be on? I'm going to bring in my hands. I'm on the last panel of the Floozie sweater, you guys. The last panel. Look at that. This is, I think this one is the right front. So I'm right here and I need 11 inches. And I think I was at either 6 or 7. I don't know. 5. I'm at almost 6 inches. Karen, hi. Good to see you. Girl, I thought about you today. I certainly thought about you today. How are you doing? Elijah View. Gosh, I vaguely remember that one. Elijah View. Oh, I know I've missed a lot of these trials that have come up recently because of all my doctor's appointments. It's cutting into my crime time, y'all. Yes, isn't it going to be? It's going to be so comfy. Oh, I'm telling you, it is just so nice to work with too. You working on it too? Okay, working on a sweater. You finished peanuts. Yay. Oh, yes. And I wanted to talk about that too. Absolutely. I have been trying to get caught up on some of what's going on with that. In my I wanna know what you all think of that one. Before we get to Sarah Boone, I wanna know, what do you all think of that one? Okay. Bit of the roof, but they got it all fixed. Oh, amazing. Oh, I'm so glad, though. I'm so glad there wasn't more. Well, we're sending prayers. Whatever it is you need it for, we're sending it. I do too. Something just does not sit right with the whole thing for me, Joan. It just does not sit right. I just don't. And then I I watched, okay, hold on, coming back. I watched an interview that Vinnie Politan did with Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie O'Donnell now has a podcast, and she's in the Menendez camp, and she feels that they've done that, and she's not alone. Her viewpoint, and the viewpoint that I'm seeing for those who are in the Menendez camp, is that n I've never been much of a fan of her either. I watched very little of her show, and then she just went out into left field, literally left field, and, I just her comedy wasn't really my thing. Good question. Were they truly abused? Were they? Why am I still not sure? You believe they were? I don't understand why I'm not sure. I'm beginning to feel like there's something there, and that's why watching the things that they're talking about with the family makes me more lean more towards they were abused. I just who could really say, None of us really knows what went on. Hello, Jen. How are you? Good to see you. And you think they were? And that's been my stance the whole time. How I have felt about it was that it doesn't really matter. One of them was 18 and one of them was either 20 or 21. I know abuse does stuff to you. I just feel absolutely it gets hidden. It does stuff to you. It it'll totally screw your head up. I just I really have questions still. And for me at least, I still feel it was about the money. I feel like had there not been that situation, had they not grown up with the money, had they not grown up being given all of those things that they were given, and I don't wanna say privilege because I don't like that word, but when you get old enough and you can get out, you get out, no matter what, to me. To me, it is. The the psychologists have not convinced me that there was enough going on that they couldn't make proper decisions, if that makes sense. And of course, I'm not them. I wasn't in the family. I didn't know them well enough. I can't really say for sure. This is just my opinion, you know. I'm not convinced that they were in the state of mind that they didn't know not to do what they did. And I want to apologize. I haven't seen Sherry in a little while. Hope she's okay. Hey, Mob's Place. But Sherry Knowles said something last week about premeditation, and I was not thinking straight. And she is correct. It only takes less than a minute, according to the law in most states, in order for you to be able to consider falling under the limit for premeditation. And so I don't know what I was thinking when we had that discussion last week. Wow. I think that's the first time I've heard that. Robert Robertson on the spectrum. So when was he on the spectrum? It's seconds. Okay, premeditation is seconds. Thank you. Yep, that's true. She would have looked the other way. She was definitely guilty of that. If all of the things are true, you know, yeah. I still want to read the book. I have the book and I still want to read it. But yeah, I'm just not convinced there was enough. Yeah, but I've never been treated that way. I've been treated pretty badly in my life, but thankfully not that bad. I still don't consider the things that happened to me as being that bad. I I think they were mad at the mother. I think that if the things that are and okay, so if I think they're mad at the mother because the mother didn't do anything about the father, then I have to believe that the father did these things to them, right? See, this is where I go back and forth on that. But I believe they killed her because she didn't help them. They didn't think that she helped them. Okay, so if that's the case, that's what they're saying their reason was. So now do I believe that was the reason? See, I go back and forth and I don't know. Oh, time to take my medicines, y'all. And it's time for me to stand up. I got to move around for a minute. We're going to be doing a little bit. Even if I stand back here and talk to y'all, I'm going to have to do more of that because of the things that are going on with my back. Okay. So I'm going to go and I'm going to take my phone with me in case it goes off. But I got to go get my medicines. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, I made it back before my other alarm went off. Oh. Okay. I hope you're getting those under control. I feel for you. Every time you start, you just see it come all over you, Ola Joe. Goodness. I really hope you're getting control of those allergies because they're bad. And I know what it's like to have that. And it's just miserable. And it's hard to think straight, too. Okay, I'll have to go back and thank you, Joan. Thanks for playing the intermission. There is, in general, they're going on and on about against boys, but in general, there is. And there's so much we don't know is going on in people's homes every day. Every day. And see, it could go either way, though. Cindy, it can go either way. You can be abused and then abuse others, or you can be abused and say, I am never going to treat another human being the way I was treated. It's just, it could go either way. It's kind of like, I see it kind of like alcoholism too. You know, people who are an alcoholic, who grew up in an alcoholic home, they may become an alcoholic, or they may say, I ain't never going to touch that stuff. Never going to touch it. So you just never know. It can go either way. Either way. So, you know, that's the way I see it anyway. And that's what gets me about Menendez. And that's what gets me about a lot of these cases. And that is that it's about choices. We make a choice in our life. None of us really knows how we would react when our back was against the wall. I'm not convinced their back was against the wall. That's where I'm at with the Menendez. Now, the new evidence, evidently, is a letter by a band member from Menudo who says that he was molested by the Menendez father. Hi, Crystal. It's Donna. It's Donna. Crystal Sky's hand dyed is Donna. Glad you're here. I said Crystal because I was reading it. Hi, Donna. Yes. But now, so here's the question, though. Do we let them out and say, well, you know, y'all have been really good? In this country, I still think that a lot of the general opinion is that people can be rehabilitated. If that's the case, do we let them out because they're rehabilitated? Do they get time off for good behavior, for doing good things? If they were given the way the law works, right? If they were given life without parole, they don't get that opportunity, no matter how they act. According to the law. Now, I may be wrong, but my understanding is if you're supposed to be in there for life, you don't go before the parole board. They don't. So, and I believe that's what happened with these guys. So with that said, the only thing that could happen after all of their appeals have been met is new evidence. So the new evidence evidently is this corroboration about the abuse. And then there's the second letter that was corroboration about the abuse, which Lyle wrote to his cousin and got found, was in the attic or something, in a batch of box or a batch of other things that someone went through, and then they found this letter. Cousin's dead. He can't corroborate the letter either way. So, yeah, in Canada, isn't it 18 years is the most anybody ever gets for anything? I'm not sure where I got that from. Yeah. Yeah. And I do understand that. I do. 20. You think it's 20? Train the village for the worst situation or prayer, and some of it end up doing the total opposite of what we planned on doing from right. And you guys have that trained into you. Drills. Y'all do drills. It's drilled into you. Tea tonight. I've got the remnant of some Earl Grey, and then I had a little bit of that left. I went back in with vanilla chai, which is a Bigelow. This is my favorite chai. The Bigelow's vanilla chai, that is my absolute favorite. That and that vanilla one that I got from Joyce. I forget what that one is called. But those two, my ultimate favorites. Isn't it? It's so good. I do too. There's another one that's called Constant Comfort, I think. Something like that. That I don't care for that one for some reason. I don't know if it has too much of a spice I don't like, or too much of a spice I do like. I don't know, but there's one of those I don't. That's a good question, Stephanie. That is a really good question. How much of that money is left? Where did it go? What happened to that when they went to jail? I haven't heard anybody say anything about that. That's a really good question. Your mom's favorite too? Oh, I know. It's some crazy amount that they don't have. It's 25 years is a life sentence according to the Canadian system. Okay. Wow. Oh, good. Good deal. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Cindy. Congratulations. That's like getting a new home, isn't it? That's what I would say. I would say it took an awful lot of money for their defense. I would say that took a lot. Brothers and sisters of the mother and father. Okay, maybe. Maybe. I don't know the answer myself. Don't think I've ever heard anybody say. Okay. So, Sarah Boone. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we get into Sarah Boone? And I know right now Laura's going, but I finished the book. Is she not going to talk about the damn book? We have to talk about Sarah. I had an appointment today. My back looks like mincemeat, y'all. My MRIs came back, and I could go into detail for you, but it looks pretty bad. So we have a plan. Hi, Pam. You gave up. Okay. Well, I will get some more notes going on the book, and I will definitely get back to y'all, okay? I just had too much going on this week. I wasn't able to get back to it. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I've got several bulging discs. I have something called facet disease along with the degenerative disc. I have scoliosis. My neck is almost straight when it should be curved. It's almost straight, and it's going the wrong direction. It's going back the wrong direction. I have a herniated disc and something called Mobic disease or Modic disease, where it shows up only after a long, prolonged amount of pain with your back. So yeah, it's pretty bad. However, my spinal column is not being compromised. Okay, so the movement in my spine, the fluid and everything is still flowing. We got plenty of room. There's not, I have narrowing in a couple of spots, but nothing that is going to stop me from walking or using the bathroom or any of that kind of stuff. Don't have it known. So I'm considering myself extremely lucky right now. I'm 60 years old. Shit happens. Your body don't last forever. It's not supposed to. So here's the plan that we're trying to get approval for me to have a procedure. Now, Karen is going to know all about this because she has been through this. We're trying to get a procedure in which they can go in and numb a couple of spots. They will go in and they will, it's just minimal. They just go in with it and they use a camera. They give me a little woo-woo medicine and they numb a couple of spots. And that's supposed to last about 4 hours. And if it works and it gives me relief during that 4 hours, then we know we're going to do the right thing. We know where we go. And that is to go in and do the first procedure to relieve the pain from the facet disease, which the facets, your spine, and then the discs are out here on this open edge out this way. On the inside, there's these that go around. Those are where the facets, that's the facets. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but there you go. That's where that is. So it's not just those other discs where I have the degenerative disc. It's on those facets as well. So my mother had arthritis of the back. So I'm just following along route with my genes. Gammy's genes again. Anyway, if you know with that reference, you just know. So there's 2 procedures. The first one is to go in and do shots. It's not shots. It's where they go in and they burn the nerve, then they reroute that, and it should last up to a year. Joan says her mama got her jeans at the thrift store. It lasted you a year and a half. Well, I'm really glad to hear that. You're doing that soon. Ah. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That's good news coming from y'all. Thank you so very much. And I feel for you knowing that you have the pain that I have because it's not fun. It's not the worst though. Honestly, My upper neck and stuff should be hurting just as bad, but it doesn't. My lower back is what really hurts me. You got to carry and do a lot of work there in the middle section. The second procedure is permanent. The second one, they go in and they cut those nerves off, and it's permanent. So we're going to try to go for the first procedure and get that done to get some relief. And then he's going to try to push through and do what we have to see if I qualify from there to get the one to do the permanent. So there are other options, but these are the least invasive without putting pins in, which I don't really want to do. So that's what happened today. And then Mr. Fiber and I went to the thrift store. Thank you very much. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. But I'm really doing okay. When I took those steroids, they helped tremendously, and they have lasted for weeks. So I'm very grateful to get that break that I got. It was, but I'm not surprised. I'm really not. Still haven't helped. I've been through 2 different types of injections. 4 times a day. Okay. Another different kind of he told me I'm beyond the injections, those steroid injections. He didn't even mention that. He said that there's therapy, there's injections. He said, but I'm beyond that. I mean, that's not really it. It's so temporary that it's not worth really worrying of trying to do it. He said that I'm beyond that. Thank you. I'm hoping that we're either going to have to do this. I know. I keep saying they're going to find something that works for you, Karen. This one, there is a particular, I want to say it's called an intercept, something like that. If you'll look that up, Karen, and ask if that's available for you. It's called intercept. I'm pretty sure it is. Thank you so much. Yes. Agreed. I just want to start moving. I want to get out there and start walking. I walked the other day. Y'all saw my video. I walked the other day. I paid for that for 2 days. That's part of why I didn't do any videos. 2 days I paid for that. And I want to do that whenever I want. Joyce made me cry. You made me cry, Joyce. I don't know, Tank. It's just wrong, though. We want you here. We don't want you not to get them. I didn't do it. Good night, Annie. You take care. I appreciate you coming in. Okay, Sarah Boone. Y'all ready? I am going to just knit while we do this, but give me a second to get this set up because I want to see the opening statements. I hope you have a good night, Annie. No, it was just so sweet of you. What you said was just the sweetest thing. It really was, and I really appreciate it. They do. A certain amount of this was just something that happens, right? I know. a certain amount of it. And I guess, he asked me about my upper back, and I'm not gonna be able to say this too much without getting into start, because I get emotional, y'all. But I said, when you hurt for a long time, after a little while, it's almost like you don't feel it, or you have said it's not there to deal with it. So those of you that understand what I mean, oh, darn it. Darn it, Karen. You're going to find something. You are going to find something. I'm willing it for you. I am willing it for you. What's the matter, Bubby? Do you need help? Is your green toy giving you a hard time? Let me see. No, it's just the little ones. You can get those. Here. You're just having a hard time getting them out tonight. Oh, thank you so much, y'all. I'm getting hot. I think I just got... Whew. Well, that's the fibro, they say. Yes. Hi, Suzanne. Oh, what'd you have? We want to know what you had. Absolutely. We want to know what'd you have. I had a little supper before I came on. Oh, you did get it. I'm so happy for you. Oh, that's so cool. It's perfect for you, Donna. I wish I'd thought of it. I'd have bought it for you, but I knew you were going to get it. Maybe maybe it was because he came around to get Serbs. I usually get hot when he comes around the corner. It's just a thing. We're connected. Look there, Joyce. Oh my gosh. Oh, who got the memberships? Oh, Joyce, that is so sweet. Let me hang on. Ooh, stuffed bell peppers. That's one of my favorites. Mr. Fiber doesn't like it as much as I do, but I love them. I love stuffed bell peppers and cabbage rolls. And that's another thing. He's not crazy about cabbage rolls. Growing the Floozie family. Yes. Do you need help? Why are you having such a hard time with that? You being a wuss? I'm sorry, Tank. I understand, but I've not been to the point where I've been in bed, but not doing a whole lot. That I understand. Italian dish. Chicken sliced thin with the sauce and all homemade. That sounds wonderful. All right, well, give it to me. He decided he can't do it. One more? There's one more. All right. That's it. Crafty Annie. She left too soon. Tina C. Mandy Moe. Lori Armstrong and Frozen Stone. Yay. Frozen, you finally got one. If I could give it to you, I would. Sleeping helps. It does. Yes, it does. Right? I guess I shouldn't have said anything until he kind of whined a little bit more. Because then he just decided I needed to do it. Hey, Maribel. Okay, let me get this loaded up over here. Give me one moment to get my screen going and then coordinate it with, uh-oh, is it under my chair? I'm guessing there's a piece under my chair because he's trying to scratch under there. What? What is it? Bud, I'm kind of busy here. Okay, that's it. That's all. Hey, we're teaching them sign language, y'all. That's all. All right, let me find it. Oh, come on. I thought I had it already loaded up. I guess not. Okay. So let's go here. Oh, Russ is on. That's probably where Annie went. Just saying. Okay. Oh, no. Don't want that one. I'll be right with you guys. I'm looking for it. Hold on. I want the law and crime one. All right. Well, I'm going to have to scooch it forward. Okay. Oh, hang on. Okay. I have found it. Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? Okay. I'm just reading back a little bit, making sure I didn't miss any. Okay. I think we're okay. And hello to anybody who is, I want to do this real quickly also. Hello to all of my lurkers. I really appreciate you very much. Okay. Are you ready? Here we are.
Chief through witnesses. With that, Mr. J, you may proceed, sir. Thank you.
Okay, let me let him get caught up over here. Okay. I am in sync. No, I'm not a boy band.
Ladies and gentlemen, what the evidence is based on what we showed you. That this
Okay. It was low. I couldn't get it any higher. Now let me turn it down just a little bit because that's for some reason that was not working. I don't know if he wasn't talking into the deal or not. She did. She asked for snacks, but she didn't get them. Judge said, "Listen, you're not getting any more than any other defendant." Yeah, she was trying really hard not to make a face there. Did y'all see that? To me, I have not heard of that one, Cindy. Hey, Granny, good to see you. Okay, here we go.
February 23rd, 2020, Orange County, Florida, is a suitcase on the ground, face down, zippers facing the floor. You will hear Sarah. Then it will say, "For everything you've done to me." Sarah, for everything you've done to me. Sarah, fuck you. And then the defendant laughs. Sarah, fuck you. And the defendant laughs. Sarah, stupid. Sarah, that's my name. Don't wear it out. Sarah, I can't fucking breathe, baby. Seriously. Yeah, that's what you do when you choke me. Sarah, Sarah, Sarah. The defendant laughs again. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe. That's on you. Sarah, I can't breathe. Laughs again. Unintelligible words. And I would submit the evidence is going to show the intoxication from alcohol. Is the next thing she says. Sarah, 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 I can't breathe, baby. That's what I feel like when you cheat on me. Sarah, fuck you. I can't fucking breathe, Sarah. Fuck up. Sarah, shh. The last thing you will hear the defendant say to Mr. Torres as he's face down, zipped shut. That, again, began at 11:12:45 and lasts just over 2 minutes. At 11:23 and 3 seconds p.m., there's a second 22-second video. It's defendant zooming in on the suitcase. And all you hear during this 22 seconds after he's been in the suitcase since at least 11:12 p.m. One more time, Sarah. How did we get to this point where 103-pound George Torres Well, the next morning, Bennett wakes up, late morning, perhaps early afternoon, somewhere in this time, several hours. And she goes downstairs. She doesn't see George anywhere for us. And eventually realizes,
Oh, man.
he's in the suitcase. The first thing she does after taking him out, and I believe you hear the description, but took his little legs out the same time she makes that statement. And tries to protect him. Here's her thing that she crashed down on this 100 feet.
We do lose the sound, don't we? Is it better anywhere else? Because I can't even get the words to come up now. Y'all are having Pop-Tarts, huh? The Fox News one is better? Yeah, I know it. Now everybody wants Pop-Tarts. I like the cinnamon ones. Tank's hungry. She's been sleep in bed. She's raised some collars and cornbread. She hungry. Is that one better? Is that what you're telling me, Shannon? Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Okay. Dang, they had a live stream too. Trying to find the place where it starts. Y'all passing stuff around? Man, I want some candy corn so bad, but I can't have it. That's another thing that happened this week. We're not talking about it. Really, we're not talking about it. Sorry. We'll talk about that later. We've had enough with today on the health front. Enough for today. I got to find it on the phone. I have to do it this way, you guys, because you guys don't hear when I share it from.
And she goes downstairs.
Oh, we're already there. Why am I not doing this one? Okay, hold on.
And she doesn't see George anywhere for us. And eventually realizes, the first thing she does after taking him out, and I believe you would hear, Sarah, fuck you, is the last thing you will hear the defendant say to Mr. Torres as he is face down, zipped shut, a suitcase.
Okay. I think that's where we were, pretty close anyway. Oh, having some chocolate. Oh, can you guys hear that at all? Okay, let me get it caught up to where we are on the phone. Okay, here we go. Now let me share it again.
That, again, began at 11:12:45 and lasts just over 2 minutes. At 11:23 and 3 seconds p.m., there's a second 22-second video.
And hi,
And
Mason.
it's the defendant zooming in on the suitcase. And all you hear during this 22 seconds after he's been in the suitcase since at least 11:12 p.m. is one more time, Sarah. How did we get to this point where 103-pound George Torres is putting this suitcase left to town? Well, the next morning, the defendant wakes up late morning, perhaps early afternoon, somewhere in this time range, several hours later. And she goes downstairs and she doesn't see George anywhere, Torres, and eventually realizes, oh my God, he's in the suitcase. The first thing she does after taking him out, and I believe you will hear a description by the defendant saying, took his little legs out. At some point she makes that statement. And tries to resuscitate him. Here's gurgling as she presses down on his 103-pound chest, forcing whatever air was trapped in there out and gurgling. Then the next thing she does is she doesn't call 911. She calls Brian. Who's Brian?
Her
Brian
ex-husband.
is her ex-husband. They share a child in common. And this date, February 24th, 2020, is a Monday. A normal work day for most people. School day for their child that they share in common. But after they got divorced, the arrangement was every other weekend, no co-parent. And that weekend includes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they've got a free schedule. And then Monday through Tuesdays, their child would be her responsibility. Wednesdays and Thursdays, their child would be Mr. Brian Boone's responsibility. So February 23rd, 2020 was a Sunday. And now he's led into Monday, 2020. Mr. Boone had been trying actually to contact the defendant a couple times that morning because he just wanted to confirm she was going to get their child after school today. And there had been a history of reliability on that issue on her part. So you will see in the phone record, he calls her, and then she finally calls him back instead of calling 911. And maybe you guys poke your head is. He comes over. It's a short drive. And then she's explaining to him what the heck is going on. He peeks into the front door of her townhouse, which allows you to view all the way to the back sliding glass door. You're going to see that her kitchen is off to the right. So there's a doorway that you can see all the way through. And on the back side of the kitchen in the breakfast area, there's the tables and stuff. There's also some blue legs sticking out in view. Brian Boone says, check please. You need to call 911. He doesn't set foot into that townhouse. He doesn't wait outside though. Being the good program that has. So now, after having first called her ex-husband, after having first waited for Brian Boone to come over, the defendant makes the 911 call. What you will not hear are tears. You will not hear sorrow. You will hear a certain level of concern. My boyfriend and I were playing last night. Put him in a suitcase, and we were playing hide and seek kind of thing. I fell asleep. Found him dead in the suitcase this morning. I don't know what happened. He had blood coming out of his mouth. Don't know if it was an aneurysm. Pulled him out of the suitcase, tried to give him CPR. He was in the suitcase and I fell asleep. He's not awake. He's purple. He's not breathing. There's some instructions about how to do CPR given to her, asking about whether an AED is available to shock his heart. It's too late. He's cold. He's stiff. He's purple.
Yes, opening statement.
We were playing hide and seek. We were playing hide and seek. This is horrible. This is horrific what happened. Like, what happened? We were playing hide and seek last night and I fell asleep. So she mentions that there was blood coming out of his mouth. His body, like all bodies, his death was taken to the 9th District Medical Examiner's office in Knox. What the doctor found was this check after being left in his suitcase. Talking about the fetal position, he passed from positional asphyxiation, meaning like you're not going to get full breaths when you crumble up like an accordion, and environmental suffocation. You don't have to have a plastic bag over your head, tape shut with a full roll of duct tape to seal it off 100% and be worthy of the vacuum of space to environmentally suffocate. It's close enough. You can't get the oxygen and the CO2 coming in and out of your environment. But she also did notice, he suffered blunt force trauma, torso, in space, his mouth. She'll use words like confusion, will help her explain confusions and bruises. She'll use words like hematomas, will help her understand for you all that that means bleeding under the skin and blood, what you expect to prove, that's why they're repeated. But it had all this additional trauma. He had trauma on his fingers as well. So now, the Sheriff's Office, Orange County Fire Rescue show up. And the defendant interacts with the first patrol officer. You will see and hear that body worn camera. It's more of the same of what we heard on the 911 call. It was good. I fell asleep.
Hey, Bridget.
What happened? A few hours later, detectives from the homicide unit at the Orange County Sheriff's Office approach her, are ready to interview her after doing some initial things, which includes grabbing her cell phone off of the counter that was found at a suitcase in Florida, and giving it to one of their digital forensic examiners who will hear from later in the trial. But it's time to give a first interview with the defendant. So they do a first interview with the defendant in one of their unmarked detective patrol cars there on the scene. And the basics of this remain the same, but there's a little more elaboration, as you would expect from trained detectives versus getting the 911 call taken. But the basics of what the defendant tells them is we had wine, we painted, we drew, we did puzzles. The particular wine we had was a Chardonnay from the Woodbridge winery. The bottles, plural, are in the trash. We started about 4 p.m. after Mr. Torres went to the store. Puzzles, art, listening to music, enjoying each other's company. We were literally just enjoying one another's company. The other bottle of wine that was left over from Bohr wasn't even half full. So the description she is saying is one bottle of wine and plus a fraction of a bottle of wine left over from the night before. Ladies and gentlemen, not all bottles of wine are made the same. Many of us may envision what you would expect at a restaurant. Those are 750s, 750 milliliters. Not about that. Bottles of wine that were recovered from the defendant's trash can were 1.5 liters. So the equivalent of 2 standard bottles of wine. A 1.5 liter bottle of wine is 50 ounces. Given the standard serving of wine is 5 ounces, you can begin to do the math. And there's receipts. The day before, Saturday, February 22nd, 2020, there is a receipt from Publix for a bottle of Woodbridge wine for $9.74.
Well, they went all out.
And then Sunday at 12:17 p.m., there is another receipt for $9.74 for a Woodbridge Chardonnay bottle of wine. And then at about 5:30 in the afternoon on February 23rd, again, there is another receipt for the same bottle of wine for the same price. And those 2 bottles of wine were recovered. They're going to be produced to you in evidence, and you will see that they are, in fact, Magnum bottles of wine. So that's the context that we're dealing with when we hear things like, we only had 1 bottle of wine and we finished what was left in the bottle of wine from before. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's 2 1.5 liters that apparently were consumed by a 103-pound man and the defendant, who is in the same weight class. Plus, if you believe that the defendant and the decedent would leave leftover wine from any given day, any additional wine that was remaining from the 1.5 liters from Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot of wine. So in that context, we were just
That's a lot of wine.
Enjoying each other's company. At one point, we played hide and seek. She says she didn't zip it up all the way. There was enough room, her words again, there was enough room for his little fingers to get out.
Yeah, so I could hit with the
We were
back.
still having a good time and whatever. And basically, Mr. Torres is stressing out about jobs, ex-wife, about money. So they're just doing puzzles and doing things to keep his mind off of it. Doing art, playing with the dogs, dancing with the dogs, playing hide and seek. We were always trying to outdo each other where we could find each other the best. When they started playing hide and seek, she went up to the shower and then got tired of hanging out in the shower, came down, and that's when she found him playing around in the suitcase. We both thought it was funny. I'm going to zip you up. 2 little fingers could stick out. And she went upstairs thinking They'll get out. We're going to have sex and go to sleep and call it a day. It was a good day. She insists that they had wine, but we're not drunk. You'll be able to assess that for yourselves when you hear the recording she made.
Hi, Tina.
No ill will between us last night. Last argument, maybe last week. Don't really argue. We came home, drink, smoke, did art, listen to music, play with the dogs. We drink what we can afford. We used to be able to afford liquor, but now we can only afford wine. And that's how that day ends with the police. She goes and sleeps at her ex-husband's house the night of February 24th and 20th. What they are doing, by they I mean the sheriff's office in Parkland. That's when they discovered the two videos that I just described for you. And there's other things in the phone, which I will discuss with you in a little. But she's summoned in for another interview. She sits down, gives another interview on February 25th, now Tuesday. She does describe past instances of violence. You're going to hear about that. She's going to say, Mr. Torres had hit her with a curtain rod about a month ago. Since then, though, like, we've been good. I've been good. She describes it comes at her all the time. He comes at me. So it's either I flee or I try to go upstairs and go to sleep. That's usually what it is. I don't know if you talk to Brian.
Okay. Y'all are talking about her, the bat. Leanie's saying that he did not talk about the bat. And I guess that makes sense because she's going to have to take the stand to bring in the evidence of hitting him with the bat. Y'all, let me just say, I saw some of this whether it was going to be allowed as evidence in the hearings. And I just wanted to say my thoughts on this real quick before we go on. The judge had to make a decision, I think, according to the law, of what he could allow them to do in order to have some sort of a defense. If he was not going to let them bring something in to show some sort of a defense, that would give Sarah something that she could use on an appeal. And that's something judges do think about when they weigh what they will allow and what they won't allow. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm just saying based on what I've seen so far in 30 some odd years of watching trials and reading all the information and stuff. So that's my understanding, okay? And so he said they were able to bring in this thing about being a battered spouse. Well, they also had to say, they did a hearing yesterday talking about how the defense wanted the prosecutors to say what they're exactly going to be charging. I mean, they have the charges, but their basis, they're, a little bit more about what they're going for so that the defense knows. I forget what they call it too. Something about lemony. Isn't it lemony? Something about that. So that they kind of know what they're going to have to defend against. So the prosecution said, well, they also needed them to tell them in order to bring in the battered spouse stuff, there has to be a sparking of how she thought, she was going to be. It's just like with the Menendez. What was it? I'm not convinced that they thought that they were that they were in jeopardy, right? So what was it that she thought And so now she has to get on the stand and tell, because she did another interview that they took her statement before they allowed her to do the statement. I don't know what they call all of this stuff, but they did one the other day before they started to get a jury, and they interviewed her about what she wanted to present at trial. Are you ready for this, Tina? Because she said they did not tell this during this, so I want to tell you what it is. You ready? What can anybody remember what the judge called it anyway? They're not calling it a trigger, but does anybody remember what he did call it? Because his hands could come out, she thought, because of everything she had done to him, that he was going to come out and get her. So the trigger was his hands. Overt act. Thank you. Yeah, it wouldn't come out. I came all the way around it. There it is. The overt act. The overt act was his hands coming out of the zipper. That's what the defense says. Yep. He couldn't. There was no way. So I just wanted to bring that in for a reference going forward, because that happened during the hearings, and I wish, yeah, that's kind of like that too. They called it imminent danger. I believe during the Menendez trial, they thought they were in imminent danger. That's what I've most commonly heard. The overt act that goes with that imminent danger was his fingers. I believe that's it in a nutshell. But you know, so okay, I'm gonna go back to this. Hold on.
Her husband about any of that, but most of the time I flee and I go over there.
Yes, exactly. No, that's the way he said that. You really can't hear it. Hmm, that's weird. Because I was just playing the same exact one.
I'm over. I flipped him over, and that's where it was. Guys, this is killing me right now. That's why I flipped it over between the two videos. I didn't do anything intentional. Discussion over whether he had enough room to get any of his fingers out from the zipper. My intention was not to leave him there. We both got in there. Both of us were in there.
Oh my God. No.
When she went upstairs, my plan was not to, quote, he'll be up here any minute. My plan wasn't to leave him in the suitcase. Why is all this going on? It's the drinking. That's what it is. It's the drinking. I thought he was okay. Guys, that's how we were with each other. Nobody understands our relationship. This whole suitcase thing never happened before. So she described it happening before.
They both fit in the suitcase? Are you kidding me? We both got in there? Hell no. There's no way.
I'll never drink alcohol again. She insists that she has no injuries on her. And you don't have to take her word for it because they took photographs of her and there were no injuries on her. She insists over and over that there was no violence that day. It's like, okay, we're in a good place right now. Ask her about saying fuck you to Mr. Torres. Well, that's just being playful and having a good day. Everybody's having a good day. I didn't touch him, nor did he touch me. Her words. What else is found on her phone? There's a conversation between Mr. Torres' brother, and again, nobody knows who's using these phones at the time text messages are sent in these records that you're going to see. But it's indicated that there's a communication between one of the decedent's brothers and the owner of the phone that was taken that belongs to Ms. Booth. The text from the brother is, yo, my daughter told me what you did, Sarah. I don't want you around any of my daughters or nieces and nephews. That's Christmas 2019, just under 2 months before this event. She replies, or the person using her device at this time, ugh, your quote-unquote dad hit me in the face. The next text is, hide and seek, I shall.
Oh.
January 13th, there's another heated discussion. She describes it on January 13th in a text to Mo, the brother again. It's a Torres thing. Boo. Sends a picture. Keep the fugly creep out too. It's still fugly. Lose. The brother responds, please do something with your Sarah. God bless you. The defendant's response, and bless you and all of you too. I'll get, in all capitals, rid of him. Then it'll be, in all capitals, better. Ugh, Torres, referring to Mr. Torres, getting rid of.
I gotta take a little break here. Good God. See, this is stuff that I've not heard. This is all new evidence that's being disclosed now. Right? Yeah, and that's before this happened. Joan, that's before this happened. Hide and seek I shall. I'll get rid of him. If I was the jury and I didn't know all this stuff, what would you guys think? That's what I always have to do when I watch these trials. You know, if it's something I've never looked at before. And I was the. I think that you may be onto something there too, Joan. You guys are so good. I think that's the malice. That right there is the intent and the malice. Exactly. That's why he is bringing attention to that. Yep. Lori. Oh my goodness. What? Where the evidence was found that nabbed H. Holmes. Oh my goodness. Is that the creepy one that he built? Several stories? Is that the building you're talking about? How fun. I want to do one of those tours in New Orleans. There's some pretty good ones in New Orleans. New Orleans. You had heard that. Maybe I just missed that because we watched most of it here one night, and I must have missed that. Time for the dogs. Okay. Good night, Joyce. Thank you so very much. That would be fun to do one of those tours. Okay, I just had to take a quick little break. Now, you guys, I do want to warn you that if you try to find this later, and I have, because I've never played Fox before, so sometimes they will complain and they won't want it here. And what will happen is I will just tell them to cut that part out because they give me that option when I get an if I get a notification saying that I had a copyright strike, they will offer to take that piece out so that the video can still be up and you will see the rest of the video. Okay. And that's the way it will be posted. So if this part isn't there when you go to watch it back, or you're like, I don't know what they're talking about because there's no video, that's why. It means I had to cut it out. It just happens. No, the chat, everything in the chat will be there. All of that will be there. Just no video. No, just no played video. But yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. Yes, I know his family did hate her. How is your dad doing, Granny? I hope he's doing better. There's one in Ottawa. How fun. That was in Chicago. Okay. A hotel he built to collect victims from the World's Fair. Mm-mm-mm. Yep, his family did not like her at all. That's where I'm at. This is Fox. This is Fox Local. Well, I haven't seen it either. This is all new to me. Okay, here we go. We'll go back and play some more. I don't know how much more. I mean, it's an 8-hour day, but we're going to be able to jump through it. Yes, if they cut it out, you'll have to go and watch it on Fox. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. How fun. That sounds fun, Tina. Okay. It is fair use, and I do have that posted in, and I will go back and put the ones that I played, I will put a link to those after it posts. Yes, I have looked in, I have watched some documentaries on that stuff. Absolutely, I have. So I had surgery, UTI. Oh God. Oh good. Oh, so he's out of the woods a little bit? At least a little bit. That sounds like he made some improvements. Phew, I know you're worried. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, hold on. Okay.
And that's the case. That's what the evidence is going to show. But we, the state of Florida, and the members of the jury in our journey to this case, are all going to come up to the door and say, danger, keep out, stay away, by court order. And that door says the defendant's history with the victim is a door we shall not enter without permission and invitation. Halloween in like 13 days. Part of the vampire door is the vampires can't come meet you in your house. Well, I participate in this trial. We're going to be invited in to the defendant's past relationship with the previous couple of years with Taurus. And as we come inside this room, at her beckoning, we are going to have things pointed out that she would like us to focus on. And you're going to hear the first night the defendant met the decedent, Mr. Torres, he smashes her phone, punches her. It's the first time in her life she'd ever been punched. I expect that's going to be. And he made her curl up in a fetal position on her own porch for 4 hours. And she was only able to escape this situation when he fell asleep. I expect that you're going to hear that Mr. Torres is an alcoholic. I expect you may hear his high score on his blood alcohol level was a 342 once when he got treated at the hospital. This is a man who had serious alcohol problems, and I expect you're going to hear about that. Despite that first date, and this is going to tie into some other things that I expect could possibly come in. Despite that first date, despite at that point in time of this first date not having a relationship, emotional ties, and the things that come along with the relationship that make it harder to break off a relationship, it's one thing to have a bad first date, it's another thing to end a 25-year marriage. Despite that first date, there's a second and a third. Now, these days are at bars, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, and it just typically ends up, she's going to tell you, I suspect, or you're going to hear that she said, one way or another. It's one thing or the other. Like, I ask a dude for a cigarette, Mr. Torres flips out, and I'm going to pay the price. Just things like that. You're going to hear and potentially see, yes, there were injuries that the defendant is going to attribute to the victim causing her.
That is good news.
Black eyes, cuts in the face, perhaps from the curtain rod incident that was mentioned in the police interview happening about a month before this. Bloody ear, a stab wound in the leg, which is perhaps described as sword fighting, playing around in that equipment. But nonetheless, I suspect you're going to hear and see a lot about their past history. And at the end, if this occurs, if this comes in, the state is going to have the opportunity.
Wait a minute. Sword playing? Did he say they were playing with swords and there was a cut on the leg? Wow. That's the perfect thing to wear. Just gonna say, that's the perfect thing to wear. And I'll bet you did. I still want to make that. Yeah, it was before that night, yes, but still, there's some really weird stuff going on with these two. Just saying.
To take leave of the before in this room labeled the defendant and the victim's past history. Now, I'm not going to go into that now. If this all comes to fruit, the blooms on the tree during the trial, we'll discuss it at the end where it's more appropriate. But I'm asking you to not rush to judgment until you hear all of the evidence in the case. And then apply whether or not these past instances have anything to do with what happened on February 23rd. Now, like a home inspector, there are experts to come in and kind of help walk everybody through this room labeled the defendant and the victim's past relationship. I suspect there's a chance you may hear from some experts, psychologists and psychiatrists, about battered spouse syndrome. The statement is not challenging in any way that battered spouse syndrome exists. Well recognized, the experts will tell you all about it. Not disputing that at all. But there's some things that we would hope that you pay attention to during all the testimony, if there is any, about this subject matter. One is that it's not actually a recognized diagnosis in the Bible that they use in mental health called the DSM-5. Diagnostic Statistical Manual, version 5, and I think it's text revision or something like that. What it is, and what they describe it as, is kind of a component of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. But because it's not actually in the book, it's like a recipe book. It's like our statute books for lawyers. You go into this book and say you have a particular disorder or diagnosis, it'll say, well, all three, that it means these three elements, like elements of crime. Some of these elements have to be prevalent for a certain amount of time, so on and so forth. You imagine it's a cookbook. It gives you the recipe for a diagnosis. But because there's no It's not used for explaining the subjective beliefs that one holds. What you will also hear about these things is, just like any other doctor or any expert, like a home inspector. If a home inspector's report was based solely on the person who's trying to sell the house, what they say about the house, great shape. I rewired the entire thing. Brand new JDC pipes. This sucker's good to go. I'm great with this. You're not going to take that home inspector's report unless they lift the hood, kick the tires, do all the things that the Fox on here in the Carfax does. You want an expert to get reliable information. An expert's opinion is only as good as the information that he or she relies on. They will say, yeah, you gotta take into account the credibility of the person who's giving you the story. Even if it's the patient, the client that is saying all these things happen to her. You gotta find proper information. You gotta check reliability. Particularly in circumstances like we discussed. Another thing that they're going to tell you is just because there's a bunch of violent nonsense going on between two intimate partners doesn't mean that spouse syndrome applies. Some people can go home and fight like cats and dogs. And that's just their day. They get over it. They live their life and fight another day. Their cycle just spins like that. So just because you hear about those things, what the experts will tell you, it doesn't mean that it necessarily applies.
The report
If
is
this testimony comes in, I expect that Dr. Harkin will say that it applies to this food. But we'll talk to her about what she relied upon to make that conclusion. We'll talk to her about some other things and take that journey together. But at the end of the day, after you hear all of the evidence in this case, particularly straight from the horse's mouth, the video, where you don't have to rely upon the credibility of anything other than your own two eyes, your own two ears. The state's next year going to return a guilty verdict for second-degree murder. What the evidence is going to show is that the defendant killed Mr. Torres because she decided he deserved it. Not because the evidence will show an objective, reasonable person or circumstances.
Thank you, Mr. J. Any opening remarks by the defense?
okay. That was painful. I understand. I don't know that I was following him on kicking the tires and all of that. Did anybody understand? I know it was hard because we couldn't hear him. But yeah. Kind of worried now. I have to say, I'm a little worried. Okay, does anybody want to hear what the defense has to say, or no, he's trying to make a point. I just don't get it, Tina. I don't get it. I don't get the point he was trying to make. He was saying something about the the book on psychology. Oh, credibility of the experts. Okay. No, that wasn't the defense. That was prosecution. Don't take just one side of the story. Thank you. You got something out of it that I didn't get. It was a strange analogy, though. Yeah, they did get some testimonies in. Here's what I wanted to do. Did you guys want to see the husband? Because that one I thought was interesting. I did listen to that one. And then they had the testimony of the people on either side at the apartment complex. Right, Lori? Okay, well, I want to find, because that one I know we can hear. Let me, we'll swing back around to the defense someday. There we go. Because I watched it. Come on. Come on. So this is the ex-husband. This is not a very long, it's like 10 minutes.
Yes. Sir, good afternoon. You could be seated. After seated, if you could please state and spell your name for the record for us.
Brian Boone, BRIAN, BOONE.
Thank you, sir. You may inquire.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Can you tell us how it is that you know the defendant? I dated her for quite a while, and then we eventually got married. You say you dated her for quite a while. How long are we talking? I met her in the late 90s, and I believe it was around 2005 when we got married. Did you have any children as a result of your marriage with the defendant? Yes, we had one son. And how old is that son? He is currently getting ready to turn 14. Did your marriage with the defendant last? No, it did not. And approximately when was it that you separated, right? And began proceedings for divorce? Probably 2017, I'm thinking maybe. And
I'd be trying to forget these dates too, just saying.
When was your divorce actually finalized? Maybe it was 2006. I think the divorce was 2017. I believe.
That's the one I would remember.
And after your divorce, what was your custody arrangement with your son that you had in common with the defendant? She was supposed to have him on Mondays and Tuesdays. I would have him Wednesday, Thursdays, and then we'd alternate Friday through Sundays every other week. So 1 week you would have 5 days with your son, and another week she would have 5 days with him. Correct. And was this still the same custody arrangement in February of 2020? Yes. And in February of 2020, did you have, do you recall the events that occurred, I guess, first on the late evening of February 23rd, 2020? On that evening? Yeah. Well, apparently, Sarah called me at one point during the night. Do you recall about what time she called you? I think it was 11 something. When you answered the phone, how did Sarah sound on the phone? She sounded like she had been drinking, was pretty drunk. Were you able to understand what the defendant was saying? Somewhat, but she woke me up. I had work the next day. I was asleep when she called. She's done this before, calling me late at night, and generally I kind of just try to ignore it, so I wasn't really paying attention. Who Who was she living with at the time?
George Torres.
When she called you late that evening, could you hear George in the background at all?
Not that I remember, no.
He was already in the
Did you
suitcase?
pay much attention to this phone call?
No.
Now, the following morning, on February 24th, 2020, did you begin to call the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And approximately what time did you begin to call the defendant?
I think it was like 11 o'clock or something.
And why was it that you were calling her?
Well, it was going to be Monday. I had him on Sunday and dropped him off at school, and I was calling to try to find out if she was going to be actually picking him up that day.
Why would you have a question about whether or not she was picking him up?
She wasn't generally very good about actually getting him on the day she was supposed to.
So it was not uncommon for you to have to remind her to pick him up or to make sure that she was going to pick him up?
Well, I mean, remind or just find out if she was going to, or if she was just going to give him over to me as what happened.
Do you remember at what time on February 24th you actually got in touch with the defendant?
It was like 12:30 or something.
And when you actually got in touch with her, what did she tell you on the phone?
That George was dead, and if I would come over.
Did she say what happened to them?
I don't remember if she told me then on the phone or when I got there, but she told me they had been playing hide and seek and that she fell asleep.
What did you?
Okay. George is dead and I need you to come over. He's got the kid, right? Why do we, this got me when it very first happened too. Why did he not call 911? I don't get it. He goes over there. I don't get it.
I do.
He dodged the suitcase.
At her residence.
From the first phone call, or I mean, I don't live. I mean, I don't live a drive away, but I had to get my puppy. He just got the puppy recently. I had to get him in his crate and stuff like that, and put.
Is that better? Is it back? What the heck? Something's going on with them. I may need to get another microphone, huh? I guess I just need a new microphone.
Seek, and that she fell asleep.
What did you advise her to do?
I told her she needed to call 911, and
Okay, now. Okay, hold on. It's so frustrating. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I don't know. So it's not this microphone. It has something to do with. Yeah, he was there before 911. No, I think he has I think he's nervous actually. I don't think he's loving it. I think he's kind of nervous. Act the scene out. Well, we ain't gonna get Mr. Fiber in a suitcase. Ain't gonna happen. Neither am I. Not happening. I have 3, and there's not one of them we could get in. Well, okay, but she said he was dead. I mean, I don't understand what he thought was happening. What do you think he thought was happening when he got there? When she said that? Serbs won't get in there unless there's food. But he would do it for food. Well, he did go in the house though. And then he was like, "No, you need to call 911." I mean, what a helpful guy, you know? But still, if somebody said he's dead and I need you to come over, would you go? I don't know. I would not go. And knowing her, right, he's a hell of a lot more helpful than I. And I know that he was helpful to her and he was trying to keep the peace because they had a child together. But still, those are words that I would not be, "Oh yeah, I'll be right over. We're going to have drinks." Okay, y'all, I think I'm going to call it for tonight. I need to go stretch out. And then it's just kind of been a long day. We got up pretty early. Had to be in Abilene at 9 this morning. So I am sorry, Tank. If that is true, I'm sorry. Yeah, he said they were blue. He said his legs were blue. Well, I am going to go finish watching what the defense had to say. I'm sorry I can't stick out any longer. I just really need to move around. But
I will try to go in and put all the links down below, and hopefully I won't get a flag for it. We shall see. Yes, you too. Okay, y'all, tomorrow night when we do the planners and stuff, I will do my thrift store haul. I'll give you a hint. This one has a little bit of yarn in it. And the other stuff is kind of artsy stuff. There are no planners. There are no planners. But I did get some pretty cool things. So I hope that you guys will come and see what I got tomorrow. Okay? That's a little teaser. I'm such a tease. Gotta wash your brain. Great British Bake Off. I love that. I love that. Oh, I will check it out. I sure will. I will. But thank you guys so very much for being here. I love y'all. Also, I'm going to be doing a video where I will explain about leaving comments on everything here and then after. And all of those will be going into the wheel. And then I will be giving away a advent calendar, a woolly one. I don't have the ability to put one together in acrylic. Sorry, I can't do that. But the other one is going to be, I've got all the stuff for it. And that's to celebrate my 6-year podiversary here on YouTube, because that happened this month. Pretty close to today. Pretty close. So absolutely, I love hanging out with y'all. If my back would take it, I would do more. I would. I'd just keep going because I could get this sweater done too. So I will be putting out a video so I can remind everybody, and then at the end of the month I will draw for that. That way I can send it out in November and you will have it before the first day of Christmas. So you are a blast. Cindy, you've got I love it. I love that sense of humor. Yeah, here's to 6 more. That's right. Absolutely. There's cheers to you. Okay, you guys. I love y'all, and we will talk to you again soon. I'm going to play the members deals and stuff again so y'all can say your goodbyes. And I thank you. Thank you, Joyce, for the memberships. Thank you all that are my members. I need to say a thank you, and I need to do another members live, and it's coming. But I'll see y'all later, okay? Have a great rest of your weekend. If you're not able to see me and I'm not able to see you. Oh, you'll get there. You'll get there. If y'all don't have me, she go. Oh, before I go and while I play everything, y'all give it a minute and put put the word teal in to drop your link, okay? And everybody go check everybody out. All right? Okay. Love y'all.